28 years. That's how long it's been since the rage virus brought Britain to its knees. The world outside moved on. Walls were built, maps were redrawn, and the virus became legend. But for those trapped within the British Isles, it never ended. It just changed. It went silent. Now whispers speak of a new chapter, of an island untouched by the mainland's madness, of survivors clinging to old traditions and older fears. This is Holy Island, also known as Lindisfarne, a tidal island in Northumberland, surrounded by cold sea and ancient stone. It's a place of spiritual past and apocalyptic present. Connected to the mainland by a narrow causeway that disappears with the tides, the island lives in a constant cycle of isolation. And within it, a small, tight-knit community tries to preserve what little humanity they have left. Among them is Spike, a 12-year-old boy who has never known peace. His life is one of silence, drills, and rules. He lives with his father, Jamie, a hardened survivor who watches the horizon more than he looks his son in the eye. His mother, Isla, is dying, or transforming, no one is sure. She suffers from memory loss. Sometimes she forgets who she is. Sometimes she forgets who Spike is. Her eyes flicker, her moods swing, and now and then, there's a flash of something darker, a rage that isn't hers, a twitch that looks wrong. The others whisper, they've seen this before. Yet Spike still sees his mother in there, in the quiet moments, when she sings old songs, when she touches his face gently, as if trying to remember what love feels like. But time is running out. Isla's condition is worsening, and the only hope for treatment lies across the sea, on the mainland, where the virus still breathes. Holy Island has a cruel tradition. When a child comes of age, they're sent on a rite of passage, a hunt on the mainland. It's meant to toughen them, prepare them, or perhaps it's just a way to push danger outward, to pretend they have control. Spike's time has come. He and Jamie set off across the flooded causeway during low tide. The crossing is quiet, too quiet. The mainland looms like a grave, full of fog and echoes. And once they're across, the road behind them disappears beneath the rising sea. The world they enter is ruined but alive in unnatural ways. Trees pierce through buildings. Buses lie on their sides. London is no longer a city. It's a shell. And within that shell, something still moves. At first, it's distant shadows, sounds, but then the infected appear, and they are not what they once were. Some stumble, decaying and blind. Others run with terrifying speed, barefoot, blood-soaked, screaming silently as if their vocal cords were torn long ago. A few just watch. Their eyes are tracking Spike like prey, as if something inside them still understands. The virus has changed. It no longer just burns, it adapts. Some infected display complex behavior, patterns, strategy. This is not chaos, it's evolution. Their journey takes them deep into the heart of ruined Britain. Along the way, they meet Dr. Ian Kelsoon, a lone physician who claims to have studied the virus since the beginning. He lives in a fortified research station filled with files, data, and strange vials. At first, he seems like salvation, a man of science who might cure Isla. But there's something off. His speech is slow, rehearsed, his eyes hollow. He hasn't spoken to another soul in years. He may have spent too long in the dark. Then comes Jimmy. Jimmy is different, charismatic, magnetic, the kind of person who speaks and people follow. He leads a group, almost a cult, of survivors who've built a society around the virus. To them, rage wasn't a tragedy, it was evolution, a cleansing fire. The infected, they believe, are the next phase of humanity. No doubt, no fear, no guilt, just action. Jimmy's group follows strict rituals, bloodletting ceremonies, viral baptisms, and even selecting chosen ones to be infected willingly. They believe Spike is special, that his mother's condition is not a sickness, but a sign. Meanwhile, Isla's condition deteriorates. Her lucid moments grow shorter. She talks to Spike in riddles, remembering people who don't exist, in places she never visited. But when she touches his face, there's still tenderness. She knows him. At least, part of her does. And it's that flicker of recognition, of love, that keeps Spike going. One night, Jamie confronts Dr. Kelsoon privately. He wants answers. The doctor finally admits the truth. The virus doesn't just cause rage, it rewires identity. It tears down memory, erases guilt, and strips the infected to pure instinct. But in some cases, it does something else. It transforms people into something new, a hybrid, not fully infected, not fully human. Isla may be one of them. This revelation shakes everything. Is saving Isla even possible, or is she already gone? In one of the film's most brutal sequences, Spike and Jamie are forced into a standoff between Jimmy's cult and a horde of infected drawn to fire and noise. The result is chaos, screaming, fire, betrayal. Dr. Kelson disappears, Jamie is wounded, and Spike is changed. He begins to have visions, nightmares, flashes of memories that aren't his. He hears voices in the dark, his mother's voice, and others. In one haunting scene, he looks into a shattered mirror and sees his reflection blink out of sync. It's never confirmed, but the film heavily implies Spike may have been exposed. Or worse, he may carry something new inside him. What makes 28 years later so powerful isn't just the horror, it's the quiet moments. Spike is holding his mother's hand as she hums a forgotten lullaby. Jamie was burying his face in his son's shoulder, hiding tears. A blood-stained toy floating in a puddle, a drawing on a wall of a family that doesn't exist anymore. The film explores identity on every level. What makes someone human? Memory, emotion, or the will to protect someone else? Spike's journey is one of love, raw, fragile love, for a mother who might not even be herself anymore. The visuals are stunning and haunting. Mist-covered moors, empty hospitals echoing with distant groans, streets overrun by trees and silence. Danny Boyle returns to his roots with long, wide shots of loneliness, where the sound of wind can feel more terrifying than a scream. The infected are not overused, they're precise, terrifying when they appear. Sometimes seen in the distance, twitching, other times crashing through doors in a blur of speed and fury. But the real terror is what's happening inside Spike. And then comes the ending. After a final confrontation, Jamie gone, Jimmy's cult shattered, and Kelson nowhere to be found, Spike finds himself alone in the ruins of what was once a hospital. There, Isla lies motionless, not dead, not alive. She opens her eyes and smiles, a genuine, warm smile. She remembers his name. He kneels beside her, tears streaming. And then quietly, she whispers something to him. We don't hear it, but Spike's face says it all. He looks up, toward the broken windows where morning light spills through dust. He walks out, alone, and disappears into the overgrowth. The final shot lingers. A discarded blood test kit. The light turns red. Cut to black. 28 years later doesn't offer closure. It offers a question. Can humanity survive without memory? Without guilt? If the virus is evolving, are we? Maybe the virus didn't destroy humanity. Maybe it showed us what we really are underneath. Spike is no longer a child. He's something else now. Not a monster, not a savior. Just the next chapter. And so the cycle continues.